how this works live. Oh wait, I see it. Okay, so I can tell when people come on. I just figured this would be an easier way to get you guys up to date rather than making a regular video, do a live video so you guys can ask questions too, because I'm just gonna wing this. I haven't planned anything. Hi. Haven't planned anything. That's just me. I always do things kind of spur of the moment. And I brought my notebook out here to sit down and like write some ideas down, and I didn't do it. So anyway, yeah, we got 3 people here. Yay. Hi. Thank you. Good to be back here. I haven't been here. I was looking just a little while ago. It's been, I think, 2 years since the last video that I posted. And a lot of stuff has changed since then. Thank you for the thumbs up. Hi. A lot of things have changed in my life and with me. Hello. Does it help if I'm closer? Oh, darn it. Shoot. Does that help? If I put my hand up by the mic, I think that's where the mic is. Shoot, can you hear me now? Okay, yeah, it kind of stopped a little bit, so hopefully we can do this and it stays nice. It was nice this morning and I was thinking, shoot, I should have made it this morning. Yay, okay. I don't even really know where to start. I guess I'll start with the last videos that I was posting. They were 2 years ago, so that was, actually, I think I started, oh, hi, you're not late. We're just starting. Yeah, I don't remember when I started. I should have looked more at that so I would be more prepared, but I started those videos. I'm 52. I just turned 52 a week ago or so, and I started those videos because I was going to be fit by 50, and so it was before I was 50. So yeah, it's been a while then. So it dawned on me the other day that I felt like I was in the movie Groundhog Day. Oh, thank you. Did you guys ever see the Groundhog Day? Where, and I forget the actor's name, Bill Murray. I think it was Bill Murray that was in it, and he kept waking up and it was the same day every day. That's kind of the analogy that came to me the other day as yeah, what I was doing at that time. It's like I had reached a point in my life to where I kept trying to get fit and be healthy the same way that I always did it, and I kept trying, and the result was the same, where I would just always quit for one reason or another. So I posted videos for a while, and after a little bit I just quit because I quit working out, I quit eating right, and I went through I think it was, let's see, 2 years, 2017, one of my clients that I had for 15 years, he died, and that really got to me. And yeah, and then I had another client die. My first client, he was paraplegic, and my second one had MS, and that really got me. So it might have even been longer than that, but anyway, it's like, yeah, I started eating really bad, started drinking a lot of wine, and yeah, just got really out of shape, really bad, and didn't feel good. Was at my highest weight ever, as far as I had been at that weight. It was 122 pounds. So those last videos I did on here, my lightest I think was 112. So I put on another 10 pounds after those videos. So yeah, so I guess that did happen. Those things did happen after I had posted here last, because my weight started to come down a little bit. I was 112 at my lightest, and my weight went up. It went up at least another 10 or 11 pounds. And yeah, I don't know. I guess went into this depression. And plus, it's like I knew what I was like trying to do wasn't fitting me anymore, but I kept trying to do it the same way. Finally, I hit like when I got to 122 pounds. Now, when I competed like back in the 90s and I was bigger and had all that muscle mass, I had gotten up to 120 or so. That was kind of like my off-season weight, 115 to 120, but it was completely different than my 122. I think it was like April 17th of 2007, no wait, 2018 is when I started, and I started the keto diet. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, was just my journey from that point. I had just let myself go, gained all that weight, and if you would have asked me before April 17th, so it's been a little over a year and a half since I've been doing that, but if you would have asked me about the keto diet before then, I would have told you were crazy. But I had reached a point where I was like just at my all-time highest weight, worst shape ever, hadn't been working out, and I was ready to do something different. So I had gotten a book, but I hadn't really looked at it. So one day I woke up and it was April 17th. It was actually one of my horse's birthday. That's why I remember it. I woke up and I thought, you know what? I'm going to look through this book. I'm going to try one of the meals that they have listed on there and just see how I feel. And I did, and I felt great. I couldn't believe it. I didn't have any cravings. I was like satisfied longer in between meals. And I started looking through the book. I started getting on YouTube and searching. Thank you for the thumbs up. Started searching all about keto, what it was. I wanted to understand it. And I started on that journey. And it's been life-changing as far as I've gotten ready for contests before, dieted for years, eaten healthy for years. This is the first thing that I found that I've been able to stick to it and not really have cravings. I used to be a carb person, a sweet person, sugar person. I loved sugar. And this has gotten me away from carbs and sugar. I do have a little bit of carbs every once in a while, not counting my vegetables, but I might have a rice cake here and there, or I make keto pancakes. It's a mixture you can get at the store. You just add water. That has a little bit of carbs. And then I use the sugar-free syrup. And that's just on occasion. It's like when I just feel like I want a little treat or something. But for the most part, I'm low carb, high fat, moderate protein, and just recently I've started fasting. I've added fasting to, not intermittent fasting, because I've been doing intermittent fasting for pretty much ever since I started keto. Trying to, I learned about the eating window and the fasting window, and I think I started off with about 12 and 12. And thank you, Lori. I have my little kids size 16 jeans on today. Yay. I'll step back. Can you see them? I was happy to get those on today, and they feel pretty good. But so before I continue on, which I don't know if I remember what I was talking about, but I'll tell you my weight today. My weight this morning Thank you. My weight this morning was 104.8. So I had gotten up, like I said, to 122, 123 pounds. And I had taken some pictures of my back and my butt in the mirror at that point, but they were on my last phone. And um, thank you. They were on my last phone, and my last phone died. So I'm going to see if somehow I can get those taken off of my phone, because they would be really neat to look back at now. But my back didn't even look like my back. I mean, I had fat rolls back here. I was more straight up and down. I mean, I used to be like this, and I was more straight up and down. My butt was really big. I could not get into these jeans at all. um, these are like the types of jeans that I get into, like when I'm dieting to get ready for a contest. But so 104.8, it's the second time I've reached that weight, and I am in the middle of a fast right now. So to say, I 48-hour fast will end tonight. I did break with a little bit of peanut butter earlier because I had a little bit of a scare. I'm new to the extended fasting, and I think that's where I was going with the fasting and the intermittent fasting. When I started keto, I started doing the intermittent fasting, and I had my windows about 12 and 12. And then I tried to increase my fasting window to 14 hours and 10 hours for eating. And so I gradually just tried to increase from 14 to 16. Once I reached about 16, then I just kind of started to go by what felt right. Some days I would go longer and take advantage and maybe go 18. Some days was just 14. I usually go a little bit longer than 12. Even now, it's like, I might do a 13-hour fast here and there, but usually by the time I get up and have my coffee, and I usually use MCT oil in it, which makes me go longer. So I go to work, and then I go to work early, and then I usually get home and eat something around 1 or 2. So that always makes my fasting window longer. But just recently, probably about, gosh, a month ago maybe, I started doing longer fasts. So my first one was 23 hours, and it was by accident. I didn't plan it because I just thought that was like silly to be able to say, oh, I don't know if I could go that long. I hear these people going on these longer fasts. And anyway, so I had gotten up, it was a Saturday. I hadn't eaten, since the night before, and I got up on a Saturday. Saturdays are always easy for me to go longer because I get up, I have my coffee, I get on the computer, and I've gotten back to my Facebook group too, talking to people on there, and yeah, just watching videos, researching more about fasting. And before I knew it, I was at 23 hours, and then I could tell it's like, okay, it's time to eat. So that was my first extended fast, and it just happened. I didn't plan it. My second one was 24 hours, and I kind of did plan that one. And then my next one, I was shooting for 36 hours, but I ended up going 43 hours, and I could have made it to 48, but I think that was a day I had to take my dog to the vet or something. I didn't want to be out and about, so I ended it. And now, to present date, in the group, we just had a plan of a 48-hour fast. I have a couple people still going strong. There are 4 of us that were doing it. And if any of you guys do fasting, if you have the Life app, I use the Life app. It's really cool. It's LIF as in Frank E, Life app. I made a group on there. So if you guys are into fasting and want to join that group, that would be fun. It's CliftaFIT Fasters. If you go and do a search on that, but you can watch, the different people fasting. So my fast is still going on. Even though I had some peanut butter, I got right back on it. And so my scare was, so I've done the 43 hours before, no problem. This time I had a problem, and I think I know why. So I'll share my experience so you don't make the mistake that I did. Um, First, I was gonna start the fast Friday evening. I ended up starting it Thursday evening last minute, so I was kind of off to a bad start. It was late, so technically my fast will end at 10:45 tonight, which is a long time. It's weird, then I'll have to eat and then go to bed. So um, after this video, I was thinking about maybe going ahead and eating some food. So my scare was at 36 hours. Well, so when I got up, it was before 36 hours. I forget what it was, but I got up, and my other fasts that I've done, I've still used coffee and heavy whipping cream, MCT oil, and stevia. So a couple days ago, I found out that stevia is a no-no when you're trying to fast. If you want to get, I guess, the benefits of cell repair and to get the best benefits, stevia is a no-no. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to cut out the stevia, but I'm going to keep my coffee and heavy whipping cream and MCT oil. And I did that yesterday morning. And then this morning, somebody on the group was having black coffee, and I thought, oh, well, I'll try it. And I've done black coffee before competing, because you can't have cream or, stevia or anything like that. So it reminded me of those days. And it's like, okay, well, this isn't bad. I don't know if I could have done this yesterday, but today, waking up and it being Saturday, the black coffee wasn't too bad. And I had a big cup. So keep in mind that I went to bed the night before at probably 11:30, and somewhere around there, I hadn't had anything to eat or drink or my minerals. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with keto. You need to make sure that you're getting extra salt and potassium, because you're not taking in the carbs, so it throws your electrolyte balance off. So keto, you're getting some of it from your food, and you can have salt water, which is sea salt and light salt or new salt. So if you feel like you need a little bit extra, you can always do that. And I always make that and have it next to the bed. So I had taken a couple sips, went to bed, got up. So this is probably 7:30, so 8 hours later. Didn't have anything like that. Didn't have any water. I hope that's not messing up the sound. Can you guys hear still okay? Anyway, I hope that's okay. Okay, good. So I hadn't had any water or salt water. So I had, not one of the 8-ounce glasses of coffee. I had a bigger cup. It was black. I was proud of myself. I was proud of myself yesterday for not having the stevia and just having my coffee with heavy whipping cream. And yeah, black coffee this morning, first cup. I'm like, wow, I can do this. This is cool. So I'm going to get even more benefits when I fast. So I was excited. And I'm, sitting on the computer, and it always makes time go by fast. So I got up, had another cup of coffee. And probably a year ago I'm a member of like 2 or 3 different keto/fasting groups. And a year ago, I heard somebody talk about putting salt in their coffee. And I was like, oh, that's gross. It's like, I could never do that. It's like, I love my coffee. I love my cream. I love my stevia. I could never do that. Well, so fast forward to a year later today, I tried the salt. So my second cup of coffee, which is kind of big, I put, a little bit of sea salt in it. So I'm drinking it. I'm still feeling pretty good, but I noticed when I was sitting there, it's like kind of like a euphoria. Is that how you say it? Feel. I just kind of started feeling like a little woozy a little bit, but I'm like, wow, maybe it's because I'm really getting those good benefits of my fasting. Maybe it's like I'm at the point where it's like it's kicking in and it's like serotonin, and I'm like feeling really good. So I'm sitting there, not thinking anything of it. I'm still drinking my coffee. And Then it's like I kind of stopped for a second. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. This is like I'm kind of getting a little afraid now. So I thought I better get up. And I didn't have any salt water made in there. So I thought, well, I better get up and try to make some. And I had just gotten some new electrolytes the day before, so on Thursday. And I was using those yesterday. And so I hadn't had any of that either. And that was the quickest thing that I could do. So I got up, I got a scoop of electrolytes, put that in the water, and like drank some of that. I felt a little bit better. But let me back up just a little bit. So I was sitting down when I got up to get out of the chair. My hips right here. When I got to get up, it's like they almost didn't want to move. It's almost like they were like locking up. And I've experienced that feeling before, competing, because you're dehydrated and you always have to watch your potassium level. That was like one of the things that we always watched. And there used to be a drink, and I forget what it was called. I think it was like maybe called Carbo Fuel or something like that. And I forget if American Muscle made it or something like that. But anyway, it's like you always had one of those at the show backstage in case something like that happened. And that was the feeling that I got. I was like, wow. It's like I remember that feeling with my hips and not feeling like I could lift my legs to go up the steps sometimes at the show. And I don't know if it was potassium or dehydration because you're cutting out your water. You've cut it out for 20 hours or so before a show, so you are dehydrated. And probably a combination of the two, but that's the feeling that I got. And this didn't dawn on me yet when I got up. Then when I felt that feeling, it scared me. So I'm like trying to get to the kitchen and get my electrolytes in my water. I did that. It made me feel a little bit better. And the good thing about the electrolytes is it has like 1,000 milligrams of potassium, so more potassium than I would get from my sea salt and my new salt. So I did that, and I'm like, oh no, what's happening? It's like, do I need to end this? Do I need to eat something? I got my jar of almond butter, and I had it, near me just in case, because I was going to try to outlast it. And I drank a little bit more of my electrolytes, and it wasn't going away completely. So I got on one of the groups, and I like posted in there, what should I do? I'm afraid, should I break it? Should I eat something? Yeah. But it's like I know I learned from it. It's like I know it's a scary thing. And I think it's common in the beginning when you're first learning about it. But after this whole thing, it's like looking back at it, it's like I know why it happened because I didn't have a problem with it before. And before anybody could answer on the group, I already took a little bit of peanut butter. That did make me feel a little bit better. Um, and I'll show you something else, which I didn't know this either. The new salt and light salt are different. So I've always used light salt, and the light salt has sodium and potassium, and it has a little less potassium than this. And this is only potassium. So you get your sodium from your sea salt, and you can do it either way because I've heard people do both. That's how I learned it, was the light salt. But I didn't know that the new salt was just potassium. So after I started getting answers, but I had already eaten the peanut butter. So technically that breaks your fast. But if I look at it, it's like I've done some things better this fast than I have in my other fast, which one was drinking black coffee. So cutting out my stevia and my heavy whipping cream in my coffee. So I learned that I could do that, yay. And I didn't have any diet sodas. Usually I'll have a diet soda a day. So my last fast, I had that, and those are kind of a no-no too. But I tested my blood sugar, and that really spikes my blood sugar. So this time I'm like, I'm gonna not do that, because I like one of those for like a treat here and there. So I didn't do do diet sodas. I didn't do the stevia. I didn't do the heavy whipping cream. But people started commenting, and somebody mentioned cream of tartar, and that doesn't break a fast, but it's basically potassium, which that's what this is potassium. So when she said that, I went and got this, and I just like poured some on my hand and like licked it, and I started to feel better. So moral of the story is this is what somebody else said too, that usually on extended fast you're not supposed to do coffee because it's dehydrating. People usually do herbal teas and water, which that was something else that I learned too. Yeah, but I think my problem started because I got up right away. I didn't drink anything. So you've gone without eating anything, so you're not getting any of the minerals from your food because you're fasting. And then the night before, I hadn't had any food, and I got up this morning, so I was probably behind on my mineral intake, but I didn't think anything of it because I felt fine. So I just started drinking my coffee, which is a dehydrator, and I think it just dehydrated me really quickly, and I didn't take in any of my minerals, and I just got behind, and it caught up with me. So I think that's what I did wrong. And plus, when I had that second cup of coffee, I had just sea salt in it, and I didn't have new salt. So I just took in sodium and didn't take in potassium, and I think that threw my balance off, which was part of the problem too. So that was my story from today and my fasting journey. So that happened at 36 hours, and that was around 9:30. Yeah, so I'm probably about 42 hours or something like that. 40 hours, 42 hours. I don't know. I lost track, but anyway, so started the keto diet like a year and a half ago, and I just think I'm like so much happier now. I finally found a way that I can eat and not have cravings. I'm satisfied. Even when I competed again in 2010, I was eating probably 7 times a day, and I wasn't hungry, but I still was missing food. I wanted the carbs. My protein intake was really high. It was probably about 100. It would fluctuate between probably like 150 to 170 grams, and I was about 100 pounds at the time. So protein intake was high. Fat intake, I had a little bit of fat with avocados and flank steak and whatever I had in chicken, sometimes a little bit of olive oil, but not a whole lot of fat. My carbs were moderate. Carbs were probably roughly between 60 and 80. It would fluctuate. Yeah, I know. So much happier. It's like my life doesn't revolve around food. When I competed, it revolved around food. Because it has to, because you have to fix your food every night. Take it with you wherever you go. You have to watch the clock, and it's like, oh, it's time to eat. You're always thinking about food, and I've just like gotten to a point in my life now to where I have horses now. I have a life. I don't compete anymore. I'm done. And you get out with the horses or whatever I'm doing, but especially the horses, if you're with the horses, and especially if you're riding one and they're not getting something, you can't just like stop and say, oh wait, it's time for me to go eat. You have to finish until you get to a point to where you understand each other, because you want to end on a good note. So yeah, that's what kind of started me. That's what made it hard for me, because I couldn't really eat, because when I'm out here, it's like a lot of times I'm out here, 3, 4, 5 So anyway, so finding the keto diet has like helped me a lot because it's allowed me to like eat a meal really high fat. So when I started, it was like such a huge learning curve because it pretty much went against everything that I had ever learned over 30 some years of like training myself, training other people, um, diet wise anyway. And it was hard to learn how to get that much fat without increasing your protein intake too. That was my hardest thing. So I've never tracked calories or macros. Thank you for the thumbs up. Um, I've never tracked calories. I won't say macros. I've never tracked calories in my whole life. I've and I've never really tracked macros either. It's like I would just figure out from my body weight and the protein and the carbs that I would have to take in. I never did fats, but I always calculated protein and carbs. And with me or anybody else that I trained, those were the two main things that I needed to know. And then if a person was changing, I knew how to manipulate those things to get their bodies to change. So with the keto, it's like I actually got one of the apps where I started tracking what I was eating. I put in a certain amount of calories. I think I probably put in about 1,200 calories, and because you have to put the calories in before you could like come up with the percentage of the macros. So keto diet is supposed to be 70% fat, 20 to 25% protein, and 5 to 10% carbs. So I picked 20% protein and 10% fat. So I was trying to get 70% fat intake. So, and I forget 1,200 calories. I think 70 grams of fat was like, I want to say it was like a little over 100 grams. Gosh, I don't remember now. It's been, because I did that in the very, very beginning. That was like a year and a half ago. And I did it long enough to kind of like learn and figure out how to get my fat intake up higher without bringing my protein up. And my thing that I was doing that was like making me fail every time was I was going for the proteins that I always knew that you were supposed to use, like your chicken and egg whites. And I think I learned real quick, it's like, okay, I can have the whole egg because that brings your fat intake up a little bit higher. But I was wanting to use chicken and stuff like that. And in the beginning, I had to totally get away from that. And I was using turkey bacon, which doesn't have as much fat as regular bacon. So finally I learned that I needed to switch my fats or my proteins and get my fats up by using bacon and sausage and whole eggs and what else did I do? And then I was combining vegetables with it too. So I would always stir fry some vegetables and was using butter a lot in the beginning and cheese, and I finally started to see my fat intake, the percentage go up and my protein come down. And so then I just started then I kind of got an idea and a hang of like how to do it without having to keep track. Because one of the best things I think too about keto is that you don't really have to keep track of anything because you're usually satisfied and you don't really crave things. So you eat when you're hungry. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. It's like the easiest thing I've ever done, and it's the easiest thing that I've ever done to stick to. And I've been asking for years, getting ready for a competition. I could do it. I have a strong mind. I have good willpower. And when you're getting ready for something and you have that desire to do it, it always made it easy to stick to my diet. I did whatever I had to do. And when not competing, so after 96 and I got my pro card, I did one pro show and then I decided, you know what, I'm done. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I set out to do, is get my pro card. I'm done. So I still worked out, I still ate decent, but it's like I always wondered how you could like get the desire to want to eat good and take care of yourself without having a contest or something like a vacation or something to make you be good. So I think I finally found my answer. You know, when I came back in 2010 and competed again, I realized it's like I felt great with all that I was eating. I felt great. Um, I was eating a lot. I was eating at least 7 times a day. Every every 1.5 to 2.5 hours is what I ate throughout the day. So I was always feeding my body. I felt good, um, but I wasn't totally satisfied. I still craved things, and the thing that I craved was the carbs. And even though my carbs were higher then than they are now, but it all has to do with the fat intake. So, you know, after seeing that, that it's like, gosh, how do these people, you know, it's like, I mean, I think I have pretty strong willpower and a pretty good mind, but I reached a point to where it's like, okay, I'd rather be a little happier and be satisfied with my food and maybe not look as good. And yeah, that kind of got away from me after a while. Plus, then being older, your hormones change, and it's like I really started getting that midsection, and not just because of that, but because I was eating bad and not working out, not doing anything. Oh, I won't say I wasn't doing anything because I was active with the horses, but I wasn't working out in the gym. And um, yeah, that was leading to something, and my mind just went blank. Um, but yeah, I realized that yeah, I wasn't being satisfied. You know, I was missing something. So having the higher fat um, really makes a huge difference. One, it feeds your brain, and my brain feels so much better. Because I was starting to get kind of like brain fog, and now my brain feels really good. And the MCT oil helps with that too. It makes your brain just really sharp and makes you feel smart. um, and yeah, it just works better. But yeah, feeding your body. So, and I don't know, again, if you guys, I know Lori's on here. She knows about the keto diet and um, increasing fats, but the keto diet, basically what you're doing is switching from a carb burner to a fat burner. So I remember when I was first doing it, I wish I would have taken notes during that so I could share that. So I just have to go off my memory. But like right now that I've gotten more into it, and especially the fasting has kind of like motivated me. It's inspired me. It's brought my passion back because I feel like my body's changing. I feel really good. And it's very interesting when you really start to like do the research on the keto diet, but then fasting. Fasting is very fascinating, the benefits that you can get from fasting. Um, so that started me on this whole new passion, and I've been taking notes on some things, and because I want to be able to look back on those. Like I haven't taken notes of today, but I need to take notes of like what happened today so I can remember um, that feeling. So now I know what that feeling is. That feeling that I got this morning, it was, I think, dehydration and potassium. So because I felt like what it felt like when it started coming on, and I even after I started to feel better, I took my blood sugar. My blood sugar wasn't really that low, so it was dehydration and potassium. So now when I start to feel that feeling in my head, I know to maybe just put some of this on my tongue, drink some of my electrolytes so it doesn't get that bad. And I don't think I was drinking enough electrolytes or salt water too. So, and then just not having coffee first thing in the morning without my minerals. So anytime I do a fast again, I'm going to have my minerals right away first thing before I have my coffee. Um, and I was leading to something else before I talked about that. Was it the high fat? I don't know. Somebody remind me. Where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought because I don't know if I switched directions or just added that on there. Where was I going? I had been talking about the higher fat. eating bad and being satisfied. I'm just more satisfied. And um, yeah, I never thought that I'd get to a point where, my arms are starting to look a little bit better now, but they were just like, they're starting to get a little bit of shape back because recently added in working out again. And I'm thinking about coming back to this channel to get back into it because I'm on a new path. I feel like I'm on a new path now. And I've gotten rid of the old. I don't want to compete anymore. It's not about the way I look, it's about being healthy and fit. And um, I'm healthy and fit. And um, the side benefit is, yeah, you do start to look better. My belly has gone down a lot. It was like so big. Um, One of my next things, I want to see if I can get those pictures off of my phone. They were just from the back, but you can see my butt filled out my sweatpants, and it was like so big, and I had rolls in my back. My belly, well, from the side now, it's starting to look a little more normal. But yeah, I never had a belly before, and I think it was a double whammy of my hormones changing. So going into that phase of my life, and you always hear that, your hormones change and women start to gain weight, and I did, but my bad eating didn't help either. So um, yeah, that's a good thing about keto diet too, is keto will help you to kind of get your hormones a little bit more in balance. And um, yeah, any questions, anybody? Do you want to know anything else? I think I've kind of pretty much caught you up to date. Um, Again, I want to come back to this channel. I think the last 2 years I stopped doing this too because YouTube changed their standards as far as having a monetized channel. All my channels before were monetized, and I had been working on my horse channel, and since they changed things, I was like so close with making that standard with my horse channel in order to keep it, that I just went in that direction and focused all my time on that. And plus, it wasn't just that, just on here, I just felt like every time I came back, it just wasn't fitting, it wasn't working, and now I know why. It's because I wasn't supposed to do it that way anymore. I was supposed to find a new way. So I feel like I'm on a new path, a new journey. I'm learning more stuff, new stuff, and a lot of this stuff is like so opposite of everything that I ever learned that at first it was kind of like, wow. Oh, that's where I was going with my keto journey. When I started my keto journey a year and a half ago, I know in the beginning, you have to go through that phase of where you're switching over from a carb burner to a fat burner. And when you haven't switched over yet, that's the part that makes it really hard. But your salt water helps a lot, because when you cut those carbs, that's part of the thing that starts to make you feel bad if you're getting your sodium and potassium, because the carbs make you hold water, retain water. And I noticed I was like peeing a lot in the beginning because you don't have those carbs, so it throws your electrolyte balance off and starts to make you feel yicky, kind of like I did today. But it never really got that bad because in the beginning, you're not that far away from those minerals yet. And then I wasn't really doing the fasting either. The fasting is where I think it really starts to get to you if you're not careful, which I learned that today. But it's a learning experience. It's learning more. Your smile. Thank you. And I don't have an accent. But yeah, in the beginning, like when I think back, I would question it because it's like So I would never drift very far, but just enough to have like one thing, and then like realize that I felt better doing the keto. And after about 2 or 3 times of doing that, then I just like got on board and just went with it because I was feeling really good. Um, yeah, I know. I get the tomato and basil rice cakes just to have on hand because I think it's probably the sodium, and there's like a taste to it that like satisfies me sometimes. I don't do it very often, but yeah, it's just like one of those things where now watching, there's a lady, Dr. Mindy, watching her, I'm starting to kind of branch out just a little bit more because, and I'm starting to listen to my body again because there are days when you do have to have a little bit of carbs, and she calls them feast days. So you're feasting on things, and especially a woman. She's like really big into women, helping with women on keto, especially like before perimenopause or menopause, when a woman has their cycles, they get really hungry the week before, and it's good to feed your body some certain foods that, because I guess your progesterone drops that week, and you feed those foods that help to raise that level to keep you like more in balance. And then like if you're after, then there's, you don't have a cycle, and it's like you do 2 to 3 days out of the month where you do something like that. So that's kind of what my rice cakes are for now, which I was kind of doing that before. I'd have just like one. Now I'm not going to feel so guilty about doing it, but it does like satisfy a craving sometimes when, hormones are kind of like out of whack. And so after doing this fast, I haven't eaten anything since Thursday night at 10:30. So I'm gonna maybe try to get it pretty close to the 48 hours, but I don't know if I want to eat my first meal at 10:30 at night to make it the 48 hours. So I'll probably have something after this video, and probably start with bone broth. When you start to do extended fasts, it's good to break it with something lighter like bone broth, and then have some lean protein first, and then before you jump back into your fats again, if you're keto. But there are people that do intermittent, or not intermittent fasting, extended fasting without being keto. I just think that keto makes it easier because you have that fat intake, and it just makes it easier to push longer. But in the beginning, before you switch over to being a fat burner, your body still wants those carbs. It's kind of rough, but the benefit when you push past that and your body starts to use fat as fuel instead of carbs, which that's kind of what the keto is all about. And I never would have believed this, but since I've experienced it, that fat fuel that you run off of is a lot cleaner. That's what they say. It's cleaner than a carb fuel. So I notice that like when I do my cardio, it's like I can go longer. I can work out fasted. That doesn't really bother me. And there's a lot of benefits to that too, working out fasted. Now I've always done my cardio, like when I competed, I've always done my cardio fasted. But working out, there's benefits to that depending on how far you are into your fast too, that you get benefits of growth hormone release in your body naturally. And yeah, but I remember probably like a few months into doing cardio, not cardio, keto, I was one of my clients wanted me, and I hadn't been working out or doing anything. The only thing I had been doing was keto, and I had lost weight. I dropped 17 pounds fairly quickly, so I think I was probably at that point. And she wanted me to do cardio, and she usually does the, it wasn't really an elliptical, and it wasn't a stair thing. It was kind of like a thing that did this. So you use a lot of leg. And I said, sure, I'll do some with you. And she usually does an hour. So I get on with her, and I'm like just going away, and we're talking. And it didn't dawn on me, at first. And we got done. I did an hour with her, no problem. I, I couldn't have done that before. If I was like doing carbs, whenever I got ready for a contest and hadn't done cardio in a while and was still in fairly good shape, cardio would kill me until I worked up my minutes. I would start off with 20 minutes 3 times a week, and then go up to 30 minutes and gradually increase it, and would get winded. And when I did this with her, I noticed this, like, I was like, wow, I didn't even, my heart rate was up. My heart rate was up probably about 170 or 180. So it was up pretty high. I was like surprised, but I didn't feel bad. I just felt like I had all this energy, and I was just going. And that was when I first realized that, okay, maybe there's something to this. And the keto diet isn't for everybody, but it's really good for endurance type athletes because of that reason. So instead of feeding your body carbs before something like that, you're actually feeding your body fat, because your body has learned it doesn't rely on the carbs to have its energy and its fuel. You've switched over. So that's kind of the whole purpose of keto, is teaching your body to switch to a fat burner. And you do that by like getting your fats really high, especially in the beginning. My fats probably, I haven't kept track of them in a while, but they're probably not as high as I used to do. I don't know. I just go by what sounds good, and I just try to make my fat intake high. So an example would be like for breakfast, I might take 2 or 3 strips of bacon, chop that up, put it in a skillet, start to cook that, let the fat come out in there, and then I start adding things to that. So I'll add, if I'm going to have asparagus, I actually like asparagus now. I ate it when I competed, but it was steamed, but now I can like chop it up and put it in bacon grease and cook it that way. So I'll do those 2 things first, because I like my asparagus kind of tender. And then I might add some mushrooms and maybe some spinach. I'll do the spinach last though, because it wilts really quick. And then I'll add in maybe 1 whole egg and 2 or 3, or no, 1 whole egg and 2 yolks. So it's a total of 3 yolks and 1 white. And that's another thing that I learned too, is before I was taught to eat the whites, and the whites are actually inflammatory, and the yolks aren't. So I learned that like a while back, probably a month ago or so. So that's why I do 1 whole egg and 2 yolks. So I'm still getting the fat from the yolks. So that's 15 grams of fat right there between those, and then whatever the bacon has. And yeah, so that's a pretty good amount of fat. And before, in the beginning, I would add some cheese to that too, so that gives you a little bit more fat. And I would sometimes add flaxseed oil, which I do that sometimes too. If I feel like I need a little bit more fat, I'll add flaxseed oil to the top, or I'll get like a half an avocado and put that on the side for a little bit more fat. So I just kind of go by how I feel, for that meal. Sometimes I'll have the avocado, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll just have 2 yolks instead of 3. Sometimes I'll have 4 strips of bacon, sometimes 2. It just depends, but that's like a typical meal, is like bacon and eggs, and then whatever type of vegetable that I feel like having. Sometimes I chop up peppers and do it, and sometimes I don't even do the bacon. Sometimes I'll just do the eggs and the vegetables, and if I do that, then I'll use coconut oil in the pan. And then a lunch will be, and a lot of times I'll eat just twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. But something that I learned too for women, and I'll do this sometimes, so if I eat twice, I might do this as a little snack in between, is seaweed and Brazil nuts. So the seaweed is really good for women because of the iodine, and it's good for your thyroid. And the Brazil nuts are really good for women too. So if you have 2 or 3 every day, you're getting enough selenium. And I guess for some reason women need that. And I learned that from a woman gynecologist that does keto carnivore. She kind of switches between the 2. And also Thomas DeLauer, he mentioned that first, and then he mentioned her. So I went and found her And so I've kind of added that into my daily thing when I'm not fasting, is the seaweed and the Brazil nuts, and that's a nice little snack. But usually I'll eat usually just 2 meals. So my lunch would be something like, and I've switched to grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Um, a lot of times I'm wanting something like that, so I'll have that, again with some type of vegetable. And I'm eating a lot more vegetables now than I ever did before. I'm not a vegetable person, but because I can cook it in some coconut oil or bacon grease, um, makes it taste really good. So I eat a lot of spinach, peppers, all different colors, because I think the colors of your food go with certain chakras in your body. So, you have your red, orange, yellow, green, so asparagus, I eat a lot more asparagus. And so like a dinner would be maybe some beef with maybe some more asparagus and onions and mushrooms, with maybe a side of avocado. Or I might go like the spinach and mushroom and onions route, topped with maybe some Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. And in the beginning, though, I did a lot of cheese because I had never before, and I had never eaten bacon. Well, I won't say I have never eaten bacon, because I did, but I had never cooked bacon until I was 50 years old. And I'm still not very good at it. I burn it a lot of times. So, um, but I loved the bacon and I loved the cheese. I got carried away with the cheese in the beginning because that was something that I could never have. And it was just, I put that on everything in the beginning. I just loved my cheese. And now, recently, I've cut that out for the most part. Now I just do it every once in a while, because I think it's a little inflammatory, and I think I do feel better not having the cheese all the time on everything. So I've cut that out. Um, I was starting to eat Greek yogurt again with some stevia in it, and I cut that out too. Now I just use like a tablespoon or two on top of something here and there. And yeah, so it's I would say I'm probably doing like a cleaner keto now than I was in the beginning, because um, you can pretty much get a keto meal like any place, even like at a fast food place. You just don't eat the bun, and I would do that every once in a while, which is still something that I would do if I needed to. If I was hungry and needed some food, I would just go someplace. Wendy's is a good place because their meat is pretty good, um, and you just take off the bun. But um, yeah, I started out cooking, and then I kind of got away from it, and I kind of got lazy and sloppy. And yeah, just recently, probably the last 2 or 3 months, probably cleaned it up. And I'm even like having chicken sometimes again. It's been a while since I wanted chicken though, but now it's like and scallops, fish. But whenever I do those, unless I'm feeling like I just really need that protein from that, need the higher protein, because those will give you higher protein. And if I just feel like I need like more protein and I don't need the fat, then I'll do that. So I'm starting to listen to my body more. And sometimes I'll do that, but I'll add some fat to it, like flaxseed oil. If I have like a salad, I'll chop up the chicken and put flaxseed oil on it. Or maybe add a strip of bacon to it too, to bring the fat intake up a little bit, and maybe some avocado. So yeah, so that's where I'm at today. Does anybody have any questions? And I've showed my horses a couple times this year, and I can't remember if I did last year or not. I think I did last year, but I've showed twice this year, I think. And yeah, I'm still training people and getting back to my workouts. And again, like I said, it's like I want to try to come back to this channel, I think, if time allows. And I haven't been posting as much on my horse channel, so that's going pretty good. So I feel like maybe I can maybe come back to this channel too. Really? Yeah. It's a funny farm around here sometimes. um, yeah, this one little cat, like before I started, I was sitting down and I was trying to pull up the YouTube thing and stuff, and it's like trying to remind myself, how do I do this again? The live. I haven't done a live on here. Well, not on this channel, on my horse channel. I did a lot of lives for a while, and it's like I haven't done it for a while, and it's like I'm trying to pull it up, and here she comes. She wants to be right by me and on my lap, but it's like every time at nighttime when I go to like get her in the garage to come in at night, if I go to try to pick her up, she runs from me. She'll let me get like really close, and as soon as I get close, then she like moves, and it's like, you little stinker. So I said, next time I'm just going to sit down and pretend like I'm really trying to do something, so you come up to me, little stink pot. So does anybody have any questions? Did I fill you guys in enough what I've been doing the last what I've been doing the last 2 years, I guess? So April 17th of 2018, my weight was 122, 123, and today I was 104.8, and so that's the lightest I've been since that point. And I've been this weight twice now, and I am into a fast here. So when I woke up this morning, I'm kind of in a fasted state, but my weight, even when I'm out of fasted state, will be like, it'll fluctuate between 105.2 and 106.2, 106.6, somewhere around there. But I feel like since I've changed to cleaner keto, because I was being about 107, 108 ish, something like that. Since I've switched to cleaner keto and like really started to pay attention to my fasting windows and stuff like that, because I kind of got off of it for a little bit and got lazy, and yeah, so now I've tightened up my windows again, and yeah, so I've gone from 107, 108 ish down to my regular now is like 105.2 ish to 106.2 ish. I think I was 106.6 the other day, and it was like on a weird time, because it seemed like I should have been lighter, but I wasn't. You're welcome. I'm glad you came. Yeah, I'm getting ready to end this, I think, unless you guys have any questions, because I was just looking at the time. It's like it's a little over an hour. So I think you're still here, Lori's still here. And is it Blue Moon that's here, or is it somebody else? There's 3 people here. And thank you for all the thumbs up. I appreciate that. But anybody that's here, if I came back to the channel, would you be interested in the keto? Like if I made keto meals and stuff like that, if I did that on here and talked about keto and fasting, and then probably some workouts to get back to my workouts. And okay, yay, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I'm gearing up for that, so it might not happen right away, and then again, maybe it will. I don't know. I am so out of shape though. It's like I've done 2 live workouts on my Facebook group, and I got really sore from both of them, and I was like huffing and puffing, and I can barely do like about 5 push-ups now, and I used to be able to do 20 to 30, no problem. And now it's like it's hard to get to 5. So, um, so the workouts will be different than they used to be, and okay, good. Yeah, and it's like I have a couple people um, that I've talked to, some clients, and they didn't start like keto. They just started by increasing their fat intake a little bit and lowering their carbs. So um, I have 2 people that I just did a keto meal plan for them, and they're liking it. They're like only like about 2 weeks in, so their body is going through that change. Um, but they're saying the same thing too. They're just like so much more satisfied, and they're not hungry all the time. And I think they've both, it's a couple, they both dropped weight. So yeah, it doesn't have to, you don't have to jump in full blast. It's just watching your carb intake. So lowering that carb intake, but you can't lower the carb intake. Well, you can lower the carb intake and not increase the fat, and you'll lose weight, but it starts to become really, really hard after a while. But that's what you basically do when you're getting ready for a bodybuilding contest, is you're like 20 grams of carbs. You know, when you're starting to cycle your carbs, you're 20 grams of carbs and just all protein basically. So, you know, then you have some carb days in there. So you go 2 days low carbs, 1 day high, you know, or 3-day low carb and 1 day high. Depends on how your body's changing. But the thing that makes it easy to stick to that is that you have a contest coming up and you want to look your best. So you just do what you have to do and you get through it. But I remember doing that. My memory would always be so bad. You know, it's like I would just forget things. I couldn't remember things that I knew before. My mind would just, yeah, it was different. So when you lower the carbs, you have to increase that fat. And when you increase the fat, that's the fat. And I saw this the other day, and this like made so much sense. Is the fat is the lever to take away your hunger. And I thought that was a good visual, a good way to like see it as, you know, you still have to get enough protein in, but you can't have your protein too high, because then you're not, I've heard that that can take you out of ketosis. So you need enough protein to feed the muscle, but then you need enough fat so you don't, so it satiates you, so you're not hungry. And plus, when you're taking away the carbs but you're not replacing those calories with anything else, that just drops your caloric intake, and then your metabolism can slow down. So you have to replace it with something. And in the bodybuilding way, when you take away the carbs, you would always add more protein. So you're not losing those calories. You're still keeping your caloric intake high, but you had to kind of replace it with something. You couldn't just take away the carbs, because then you wouldn't, your body wouldn't look right. The muscles wouldn't look right. They would like start to deflate a little bit. So you had to make sure your protein intake was high enough when you took those away. But then you would cycle your carbs to put some, or yeah, cycle your diet to put those carbs back in every second or I guess every third or fourth day to like fill the muscle back out. And you would do that as you got closer to the show, and then carb up for the show. But this is kind of like, and I'm still learning. I probably should start paying more attention of how much protein I'm taking in, because I just kind of go by how I feel. And now I'm really wanting to like get some more tone and shape to my muscle. So that might be one of the things that I might start looking at, is like how much protein I'm taking in. But it's like, yeah, it's like come back just a little bit, but it's like nothing like, I don't know. You still have a little bit of a line there. But yeah, I should probably start looking at protein intake and how much protein I'm really taking in for my body, because I'd like to learn more about that. But you have to have the protein when you drop those carbs and you increase the fat. And some people are afraid to do the bacon or the sausage, but the way somebody explained it that I saw just the other day, and I've seen this before, but not said this way, is bacon has the cholesterol. Okay, thank you for coming. Bacon has the cholesterol, and your body makes cholesterol. So if you don't take in the bacon, your body just makes more cholesterol within itself. If you do take in the bacon, then it just doesn't make as much. So, and it's not the cholesterol that, it's not the fats like that that gives you the problems, it's the carbs. And it's always, the carbs have, or the fats like that have always gotten a bad rap, but like, if you really start to like look at the research and the information about keto, it's pretty interesting how I think everything is like what I learned before. It's like it was the opposite, you know, like keto is the opposite. And now I'm learning though too, you can kind of use both. You know, I'm going back to some of the leaner meats too. But if you do that, then you just have to make sure you keep your fat intake higher with some other type of fat. Coconut oil, avocados are good, nuts are good. Flaxseed oil, I use flaxseed oil to add a little bit of extra fat. You know, the oils like the coconut oil, olive oil, flaxseed oil, those are all just pure fat. So if you need to like bring your fat content up in a meal, you can just add those on top. You know, another way is like always adding a strip or two of bacon to something. If you do bacon, you know, you can have some chicken, you know, in a salad with some bacon and some avocado. That brings your fat intake up too. So, and I don't know how I got off on that. I was going to end the video. Okay, we got 2 people here. Any questions? Anybody? Anybody? Anything you want to know? I think I've pretty much filled in the last couple years. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this, and hopefully I'll be back soon. Watch the community tab, because that's an easy way for me to like make a little note of what, if I'm going to do another live or what I'm going to do. I'll just put it in the community tab. So I noticed the last couple that people are starting to see it. You have a great weekend too. God bless you. So watch the community tab, because I'll start putting things there so you know if I'm going to do a live or if I'm going to post a video or what I'm going to do. So watch that. Thank you guys who came. And yeah, we got 3 people here. Is Lori still here? Anybody have a question before I go? If not, I'm going to end it. There's kind of a delayed reaction. Thank you. You are too. I hope you're still going strong. I'll see you in the group. And thank you guys for coming. I'll see you guys hopefully soon. Okay? Bye-bye. Okay, now if I can remember how to turn this off. Maybe not. I don't want to hold it upside down and shoot like up my nose or anything. Share. Okay, great. Sorry.